I remember many years ago, the guys at XP said to me, sound is everything. And do you know what? They're absolutely right. Sound is everything. Now, it brings it home when you use, say, certain machines where you've got to constantly analyze the meter. Now that gets boring very, very quickly. If you can have a machine where you can just tell what's going on just by the audio, your fines rate will increase. With the XP DEUS II, you've got several different tone options: one tone, two tone, multiple tone, or my personal favourite, full tone. But I guess these are all down to personal preference. What I want to do in this video is just choose 3 tone platforms, break them down and let you hear how they sound differently. So the 3 tone platforms I'm going to be using today are pitch, PWM and square tone. And with a little bit of experimenting, I think these different tones can give us different audio information, hence changing the dynamics of the machine. Here I've dug 3 separate holes. One is about 12 inches down, one is about 6 inches down, and the third one is probably about 2 or 3 inches down. Here I've got 3 what I class as high conductive coins. I want to put these in the holes and try the different tone platforms over these 3 targets. It will be interesting to see what different tone platforms give different responses. The program I'm going to be using throughout these experiments is the general program. Again, the only changes I'm making are to the tone platform. So I'm going to start off with the pitch mode. What does it offer? Well, it's used on the factory programs Fast, Goldfield, Relic and Beach P. Pitch mode uses what's called a VCO, voltage controlled oscillator, for all you techies. Pitch mode doesn't measure target conductivity. Its sound curve measures target intensity, and this is why you get a really good perception of depth. Deep targets are nice and quiet, shallow targets are nice and loud. Just a reminder guys, I'm going to be using the RC speaker and that never gives you the best perception of sound. For the best XP experience, it's always best to use dedicated headphones. So I'm going to be using the general program. First of all, let's go into the pitch mode. Discrimination, expert, and you'll see there it defaults on the 2 tones. We need to go along. And there it is, there's the pitch mode. First of all, the deep target. Now the 6-inch target. Now the shallow target. Now could you hear the difference in target intensity when it comes to those deep and shallow targets? There's a good range of contrast. Now what I've noticed using some other machines with a flutey sound, you don't get that sort of 3D audio, and this is what makes the DEUS so special. You get a great perception of target size and depth. So this is the pitch mode. I'll let you hear it once more. First of all, the deep target. That's booming that out at like 12 inches, isn't it? 6 inches. And the shallow target. And if you get a really big shallow target, you've then got the target overload sound that comes into play. Here's a top tip for you when using the pitch mode. Always set your headphone volume level to the highest shallow target sound. That way you don't have your ears blasted off when you go over a shallow target. So let's now move on to the next one, which is PWM, pitch with modulation. Now PWM takes the pitch mode to another level. It still offers you a great perception of depth, but there's a lot more information within the target, such as target conductivity. Now PWM mode is the tried and tested XP DEUS platform. They've been using it for years and I think it's the people's favourite. It's a great way to learn your machine and you get all that information without really needing the meter. So let's test the PWM mode over our buried targets. Deep target. There's a lot more harmonics, and now the tone is coming into play, isn't it? That second tone, that two-tone. No loss of depth at all, but different information. The 6-inch target, we're still getting that perception of depth, aren't we? Fantastic. And a shallow target. Very Morse code-like, isn't it? So let's move on to my third tone platform, and that's a high square tone. Now the high square tone has got a much smoother sound curve, and some may say it's easier on the ears. I personally like it combined with the full tones. I think the high square tone has probably got less target information than the PWM. And also, the high square tone is easier for those new Deus users who have come from a different machine with a flutey audio. It makes the transition much more easier. But again, it's personal choice. So let's try the high square tone in the general program over our buried targets. Now here we've got that lovely flutey sound, my personal favourite. Medium, it's sounding a little bit more squarer, isn't it? And the shallow target, very digital, very Morse code. So what are your thoughts on the different tone profiles? Why not post in the comments below? And if this video's brought you any entertainment or value, I'll be honoured if you could give us a thumbs up or even subscribe, and we can test some more tech together in the future. Let's get out into the field and see if we can find some natural targets. Come on. So we're using the PWM mode at the moment. Wow, that's a high conductor. And it's also screaming at us, isn't it? I know we've done this all before, but what I'm going to quickly do is go into that pitch mode. I want you to hear that pitch mode. Can you hear how it really revs up? And this is what I'm saying, a lot of machines don't give you that perception of depth. You're very detached from them. And obviously, let's give that high square a little go. So I think we've already come to the conclusion that is large or shallow. There it is, look. Just there. And that is a big old coin. Look at that. So it was about, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches down perhaps. And there it is. I think that could be a cartwheel penny, you know. They're big targets, aren't they? Let's not forget, we've got a whole range of other features, such as graphic equalizer, full tones, single tones, 3, 4, whatever. And all these can be easily manipulated to your personal preferences. So really it is just finding something that suits you. There's one there. Ah, now that's clearly iron, isn't it? But what about that one? There's definitely something there. I'm just going to quickly go into the pitch mode. Let's see what that's telling us. Definitely iron, listen to that. Can you see you haven't got that sort of tonal clarity with the pitch mode? You've just got target intensity, whereas the PWM, you've got a lot more information within the signal. Let's have a listen to that pitch again. Iron. Of course, if you want to turn the iron sound down, gone round too far, you have the iron volume, which I've put up to 10. So let's go to 5. Pitch again. Iron volume changes nothing for the good target. And there's the iron. And again, we can introduce a quiet or loud iron volume. Personally, I like it at 10. I like to hear everything. Oh, still there. So this was quite a deep one, but it was giving us a good shout, wasn't it? Okay. And that's what it is. It is a nice spectacle buckle. It's about 10, 11 inches down. Fantastic. Let's see if that iron's still there. Yep, there you go. Quite a soft one, isn't it? Let's give the pitch mode a little spin. Go. That's really rasping, isn't it? That's smashing it out. PWM. There's a little bit of a flutter with that, you know, which the pitch didn't pick up on. High square, why not? Now that is an interesting target. So what's it telling us? Well, firstly, it's quite small or quite deep because it's got a nice soft tone to it. The meter, quick glance down at the meter, it was quite solid. And then you've got the pitch mode. Now that smashed it out without any interruption at all because it uses less filtering. However, the PWM and the high square have got that little flutter with it. So it's telling me that it's probably not a pure target, it's probably not a coin because they'd be more repeatable, more solid. So if I'm to guess this, I'd say it's a small, thin piece of junk perhaps. Let's have a look. No, I was right. It is a flat piece of tin or something like that. I'm really not a big fan of relying on meters these days, and it seems that quite a few manufacturers are going down that route. The meter is everything. Well, it's not. Sound is everything.